Hi friends, welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Kimberly. I'm a neurobiologist by training. That's in her crafting era, so thank you for joining me if you're returning, and welcome if you're new. Essentially, background might be looking a little different for those of you that have been watching my videos. It's because we needed a bit more space. Today, we'll be upcycling some jean scraps. And if you had seen one of my shorts earlier, you know that I cut some jeans into jorts from a pair of cargo jeans that I have yet to wear. And so, what better way to give a piece of clothing some new life by turning it into something that I would wear more regularly. And now I'm left with some beautiful jean scraps, and what better way to get back into upcycling than to make a top out of what I have. And so I was looking online for some inspiration, and what I find a lot of is like the deep V cut corset tops, which I will put an example somewhere on the screen, but I really am not feeling that for the top that I want to make. And plus, I don't know how to make buttonholes using the sewing machine. So that's something that I need to learn. I have very basic knowledge of how to use the sewing machine, like straight stitch, zigzag stitch, etc. I am by no means a professional sewist. The sewing machine was a pandemic buy, so let's be real. So what I was thinking was something that, one, does not require any buttons or zippers. So probably want to do something that ties, most likely. I'm thinking something like this, which I'll put on the screen. And essentially what I'm thinking about is like this panel, like a couple panels in the front, open back. So it does connect at the neck slightly. So not really a halter neck. You still have a full front portion. And then in the lower back, there's a tie. So I think I can manage to do that, hopefully well. I'm going to basically wing it. So sorry, this is not a tutorial, but I will show you the process behind how I upcycle the jean scraps into this top. I'm gonna attempt to. So I don't know what this is gonna look like. I've never done this before. So get ready for another messy tutorial on how to upcycle jean scraps into hopefully a cute top that I will wear into the warmer months. So let's get to it. So what I'm doing first is I'm going to take these pant jeans. I cannot find my seam ripper for the life of me, but I have these scissors that have this type of zigzag stitch, as you can see. And essentially what this particular cut does is it helps the fabric not fray, and this is a way to get away with not having to serge everything. I don't have a serger. Sergers are expensive, and I'm just trying to use what I have. And I got these because a long time ago in a land far away, I watched a video that said these are a great alternative to ensuring that when you cut fabric, it frays less. But I can show y'all another way that you can use a basic sewing machine of how to lock in your edges of your cloth, so then it prevents it from fraying even more, but that will be later in this tutorial. So what we'll do first is back up a bit. Okay, so I'm gonna go and cut down this seam. This always makes me so nervous because I don't want to mess things up, but if I don't try, then I'm not gonna know, right? So this is us trying to be brave and work through the imperfect, just being imperfect. And I think just, you have to try. And I feel like I said try like 10 million times in the last 2 seconds, but this is how you learn, this is how you improve. And I'm trying to alter my wardrobe into things that I would actually want to wear instead of going outside and buying it. So trying to be more conscientious about what I already own and if I can make my dream wardrobe with what I have in my closet. And I have the tools. It's just a matter of learning how to do the basics, right? Which is always scary when you're unfamiliar, but now we have all this, Google, YouTube. You can basically learn how to do all these things. And there are so many talented sewists, upcyclers, etc. that there are no excuses not to learn how to do this. Okay, so this is done. Obviously imperfect, but it's okay. I'm gonna cut off things that we probably do not want. I should probably be using the other scissors, but it's okay. Okay, so let's see. I think this is actually a great, I'm probably crooked, probably a great front piece already. I'll just have to try to make sure that this sits in the center of the top. I'll definitely want to pin this. I think that is something that I like right there. And then, so actually we want it up here. Can you still hear me? Okay, so I think I want it right here, and I'm holding it with my neck. Probably look dumb, but whatever. So we want it right here. Okay, I think this will work. And what I'll probably want to do to make it a bit more snatched is to create a pleat somewhere around here. I'm gonna go grab some pins and see what we can do. Okay, so I'm back with pins. What I did is I folded it in half to make sure that we have some symmetry. I'm gonna make this the top because it already has this nice hem, so that'll be nice for the top portion of this top. And now I'm gonna trim off this excess right here just so it's symmetric using these scissors. Hopefully you didn't hear that. I don't think this mic is powerful enough to hear all those sounds. I hope not. If not, then this very cheapo microphone is much better than I anticipated it to be. Okay. Okay, so we have this scrap. Great. Again, not perfect because this is what it is. Okay, we're good there. And when I tried it on, I want something that's about, yay, great. Okay, so that's a lot of fabric to fold over. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim some of it off and then we will pin that in place. I really should be marking things, but I don't know where my fabric chalk is. This is why I told you I'm not a professional. We are just winging it. And I'm sorry for those of you that are actually, have it more together. I just decided to wake up today and film this thinking it would be a good idea, not knowing the consequences of my actions. So we'll do here, hold it in. And technically, I could iron this so it's like a flat thing, but I hate ironing. I can't be bothered. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Again, not a professional. We are just amateurs. Have any of you tried upcycling jeans into something else? I would love to know if you made anything cool, worth I'm sure there was a lot more thought that went into your design. I'm sure, especially if you have more experience sewing. I just like, I know how to pin something down and fold in a hem. No. I'm sweating. I guess I'm anxious. I'm having performance anxiety because I really hope this turns out cute. I think about the meme, please be cute, please be cute, please be cute. Okay, so we have that pinned down. I'm going to just make sure I like the length. Yes. Oh, and don't come for me. I have black thread in the machine right now and I can't be bothered to find the white thread. And then I'm a mess. Obviously, it'll be fine. So I'm just going to, what I'm first going to do is I'm going to sew that bottom in, and then I'm going to revisit how to probably cinch in the top a bit more. So let's get to the sewing machine. Okay, y'all, we're in front of the sewing machine. I think she's on. I hope she's on. No, she's not on. Oh. Okay, let's get her turned on. Late, but it's fine. It's fine. So what we're going to do is I need to make sure that we're focused. Yes. Okay, awesome. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to straight stitch this. Hopefully it doesn't turn out ugly. I'm nervous, guys. I'm gonna just do some hand stitches first to familiarize myself with this machine. I'm serious, like this has been in my closet screaming to be used. Oh, come on. Oh, no. Haha. Okay. Why am I so nervous, y'all? So we hemmed the bottom. She's a little bit not cute, but still perfectly cute. I saw how it looked around my the front area, and I think it's actually pretty decent. All I'll probably want to do now is I'm going to hem in these sides to hide, the rough edges on either side. But from what it looks like, I don't think I'll need to, create pleats yet for the fit. Oh, okay, I ran out of bobbin. Of course. Of course. So now that everything's hemmed around, I think I was trying it on in front of the mirror to see what would look best, and I think I'm gonna make these two pleats right here to ensure that this fits a bit better, because right now it's just like a rectangle and I want this to be form-fitting. So when I add in the tie, which should go, I think, around here, it'll cinch in much nicer. And then I'll also add a neck strap that will hold the top portion up, because we don't want this falling forward and exposing ourselves to the world. I hope you can see the vision, because I'm failing to see it right now, but I hope that this comes into something that makes sense. Okay, let's do this next part. I'm going to start cutting the other pant leg that I have, just to start thinking about how I would like to make the back tie for the shirt. So we'll see how I can make the string so everything can fit together. And this, my friends, is why you should probably take measurements and draw things out and have a better idea of length and stuff. But like I said, vibes and just wing it, and we'll see what the outcome ends up being. Obviously, again, this is not a tutorial, so if you try to remake this, you can't be like, Kimberly, you completely misled me. I'm like, well, I told you at the beginning as a disclaimer that this is not a tutorial. This is just upcycling with vibes. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut like 2 triangles. And so like it'll probably look something like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, we're just gonna do it, and then we're gonna make a carbon copy of that, and hopefully that will be enough to make a tie in the back. So we'll see how that goes. Okay. Was not work? Actually, we'll cut it in half. Okay. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just hope that I manage to. I have a ruler, guys, but here we are. Okay, awesome. Okay, I changed my mind. I'm not gonna add a strap to the top. Instead, I found that I'm going to do something like this in the back with the pant legs, as you can see. So you know how I cut out triangles? I'm going to do this on either side. I'm going to sew it down, and then this will enable me to tie it in the back. So what I'm going to do, just so it looks a bit nicer and it looks all the same, is I'm gonna cut out this other pant leg so I can use this already nicely hemmed seam, and then I'll be able to match it on both sides really nicely. And I think we're getting somewhere. I think this is just gonna end up being like a backless tube top kind of situation. And I hope you can see the vision. If not, just wait. Just wait. I'm going to hem these sides to hide the raw edge for both, and then I'll pin these into place for the back straps, and then we'll see where we are then. I ended up doing, oops, can you see? The lighting's horrible. I ended up doing an overlock stitch because I didn't want to fold too much inwards. So I'll just do a little fold and then clean this up so this is at least hidden from whoever has to see this. But yeah, I'm gonna keep going and we'll see. I'll check in once I'm ready to attach these to the actual bodice. Okay, now that these look much nicer and neater, I'm going to pin these into place and then straight stitch down. I'm debating if I should just like connect it as is or like fold it in. So to be seen. We'll see how that, all turns out, but pretty happy with this so far. Okay, let's see. Okay, so the tie in the pack works perfectly. I just need to fix this over here a little bit. Like you can see, like this was too thick, so the needle couldn't go through. So I'm gonna just cut some fabric off and then resew it. But like now it looks, I think it looks weird at the top because look, yeah, right. So I think what I need to do is to probably try to bring this down a bit just so it looks a bit more natural, because now I'm not going for like that boat neck round look. I mean, unless I try to like create some straps to hold it up, then it could be a bit more square neck. Let's see if I pull this up a bit more. But the back I like. It's just a simple tie in the back. And then I think good call with trying to pleat it like this. But now I'm debating, how do I do this? Like I kind of like this full look, but then I need to figure out this whole strap situation. Or I could do something like this, no? Or do I flip it? I need to think again. Let's think to see how to deal with this. Okay. Okay, so I think rounding the top is the best for this look. I think that works out really well. That's what it looks like from the side. From the side. Okay, I'm gonna finish sewing this up and then we'll be back and we'll style up this new top. Just repinned it to make sure that I liked how it fit. And now I'm just gonna straight stitch across. Drum roll, please. Y'all, I actually love it. So I just styled them with some vintage trousers that I got from my mom. Thank you, Mom, for basically giving me all these amazing clothes that you still have, that you kept along. My New Balances that I love quite a bit, incredibly comfortable. They're the 90/60s, can't go wrong. I've basically worn these to the ground and I really love this colorway. And then also this vintage bag that I thrifted recently. But all in all, not bad for just vibes. I'm very pleased with this. You could obviously wear it without this tank top underneath, but I thought it looked pretty cool, the contrast. My only complaint is that this doesn't feel as snug as it could be, but I could just like and try my best to like, if you know what I mean. But I think it came out really well. I like the end product. When I was looking at the inspo earlier, I realized like no wonder it didn't make sense because I needed to make like other straps connecting in the back and then make the tie. But we were crafty and we figured it out, and this was really just using like half the the pant legs that I cut off, and I'm in love with it. I actually think it looks really cool. It's visually interesting, and I like the tie back. Well, I really had no choice because I didn't have zippers or buttons or know how to do any of that. So just had to use the basic sewing machine. But let me know what y'all think and if you try this out. And if you want a proper tutorial, I can do that. I will learn how to do a proper tutorial to show you how I actually did this. But it was fairly simple, and if you know the basics of sewing, I'm pretty sure based off of whatever happened in this video, you could follow along. But if you're a bit newer to the sewing machine and etc., I'm happy to make a more in-depth video discussing, the stitch that I used and why I didn't, fold in. Like normally when you want to hide a raw edge, you fold it in. But denim is a much thicker material, and if you don't have the right needle, you can bend your needle if you're going too quickly. And so it takes a little bit finessing to figure out, oh, how do I, make sure I have nice clean edges, but also do it in a way that is comparable to the material that I'm using. And if you don't have like all the fancy sewing materials, it can be difficult. So there are ways to get around that with what you have and do it in a smart way. Whether it's like, how you saw that I cut off some of the material and then sewed it down. Things like that, tricks and tips that you just learn by watching other people do it, or just you learn by doing it yourself. So long story short, getting to the point, if you want a more detailed video, I'm happy to do so. But yeah, I'm very happy with how this came out. And if you try this, let me know. That's all I got for now. Okay, bye.